COBRA-2, The Portal, the Intelligence Hub for the Victory of Light. Sunday, April 29, 2012. World Liberation Day, new update. Video for World Liberation Day, main Facebook group. Follow us on Twitter, #World Liberation Day. Drake's explanation about World Liberation Day. Listen to the interview from 35 to 37-minute mark. Drake audio clip, World Liberation Day, May 5, 2012. It still needs to go viral. Posted by Cobra at 3:04 p.m. 15 comments. Email this, blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels, Drake, Facebook, World Liberation Day, new financial system video. Posted by Cobra at 11:48 a.m. 8 comments. Email this, blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels, World Liberation Day, YouTube. Saturday, April 28, 2012. Saint Pandora L1 crystal clear. Posted by Cobra at 11:47 p.m. 5 comments. Email this, blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. New financial system. Most of this intel comes from sources deep within occult economy, and it pertains to the restructuring of the financial system worldwide. Reset. This will happen at the time of the event and is actually part of the operation. Day 1. When the critical mass of pressure is exerted upon the Federal Reserve, it will be forced to repay debt that it owes to people due to its fraudulent operations. Since Fed does not have money to repay that debt, it will go bankrupt. This will trigger a chain reaction of BIS, IMF, World Bank and all central banks worldwide going bankrupt also. Extreme volatility in markets will result in a worldwide stock market crash. Stock exchanges will close, including New York Stock Exchange. All financial instruments such as options and credit default swaps will be zeroed out. All shadow accounts will be closed and zeroed out. All public bank accounts of the Cabal will be seized. All foreclosures will be frozen, as well as all public and private debt, mortgages, loans, credit card debt. Day 2 to 7, banks will be closed and there will be a lot of uncertainty and confusion. Some businesses will be temporarily closed. Some of those that remain open may accept cash, other will only accept gold or silver coins. Credit cards will not be accepted as the system will go down. There might be moderate problems with distribution chain. It is wise to stock up some food and gasoline. Revaluation, RV. After about 1 week from the event, there might still be light problems in the distribution chain. New financial system will be introduced. It will be backed up with Yamashita gold. That gold will be stored in locations that are not to be disclosed yet. Yamashita gold will not be traded in open markets. Basket of currencies such as US dollar, euro, British pound, Swiss franc, Japanese yen and Chinese yuan will form the basis of this new system. Those banks that did not have strong connections with Federal Reserve and did not go bankrupt will reopen. They will not be allowed to charge interest. All their accounting will be fully transparent to the public. Stock market will not reopen. Revaluation will take place. It means that the exchange rates between various currencies will change, but not drastically. They will reflect more truly the real productivity of nations. Iraqi dinar will not gain much value, contrary to speculations of many people. Federal Reserve notes, Euro banknotes and other banknotes will be widely accepted, until they are phased out in a few months and new money is printed. All fair business agreements, contracts and responsibilities worldwide will be kept valid and will be respected. Those business agreements that involve criminal or fraudulent interactions with the Cabal will be cancelled, null and void. In a few weeks, multinationals will be obliged to buy back their shares, and this will effectively force them to go bankrupt. They will be split and healthy portions of those companies will be nationalized in their own countries. The existence of global settlement funds will be then introduced to the public. Those funds include about $70 trillion from old money patriots connected to the positive military, $100 trillion from White Dragon Society and Templar groups, $120 trillion from resistance movement and $10 trillion from Saint Germain Trust. Global settlement funds will also include all money and assets from the Cabal. Global settlement funds will be used for many purposes. First, all national, public and private debt will be paid off worldwide. After that, all people will receive restitution for all theft and criminal activity against them by the former Cabal. Then prosperity funds will be released and humanitarian, environmental and new advanced technology projects funded. Part of the money from St. Germain Trust will go directly to light workers, the rest of it will fund projects connected to the introduction of the first contact. Posted by Cobra at 4:27 a.m. 88 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: Global Settlement Funds, New Financial System, Positive Military, Resistance Movement, Revaluation, St. Germain Trust, White Dragon Society. Friday, April 27, 2012. Window of Opportunity. Window of opportunity for divine intervention is about to open on planet Earth. The entry point of that window is World Liberation Day on May 5th. The turning point for that window is a solar eclipse on May 20th. The exit point of that window is the Venus transit on June 5th. While this window is open, the source will be sending constant flashes of light directly to Earth through linear phasor flow direct dimensional translation system of AN conversion. This time window is the most probable time frame for the event. I can give you no guarantees that the event will happen within this time frame, as we live in free will universe and the war between light and dark on this planet is not over yet. However, this window of opportunity is exactly that, a great opportunity that we as a collective make this breakthrough. Complexity wave analysis shows that this time frame is the most complex period in the known history, surpassing even the famous December 21, 2012. This means that it will be the most volatile, unpredictable time with greatest potential ever. All the major players are involved and stakes are high. Posted by Cobra at 2:21 a.m. 36 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: Solar Eclipse, Venus Transit, Window of Opportunity, World Liberation Day. Thursday, April 26, 2012. R13/1 complete. L0 radius, 23.4 m. Posted by Cobra at 12:40 p.m. 6 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. World Liberation Day, update. This has indeed gone viral and reached about 100,000 people in one day. But to read about it is one thing and actually do the visualization on May 5, 2012 completely another. I would encourage as many people as possible to actually participate, although it may be in the early morning hours in your part of the world. The critical mass for this visualization to have desired effect is about 118,000 people worldwide actually doing it with focus. If we consider that human concentration and meditation skills are not perfect, we need 144,000 people as a critical mass. We can do it. It still needs to go viral. We need to reach millions of people, so that the critical mass of people actually doing it is attained. Please post it on your websites and blogs. If you know an alternative media outlet, you can send it to them. You can create a Facebook group for your local group of people doing this in your part of the world. You can create a video about this and post it on YouTube. If you have contact with an Occupy movement or Anonymous, they might be interested in spreading this also. As per many requests, time for this meditation for some places: 5:30 p.m. HAST May 5th, Hawaii; 7:30 p.m. AKDT May 5th, Alaska; 5:30 a.m. SAST May 6th, South Africa; 6:30 a.m. East May 6th, Bulgaria; 7:30 a.m. MSK May 6th, Moscow; 9 a.m. IST May 6th, India. If your place is not listed, you can find world time zones map here. Posted by Cobra at 12:27 p.m. 15 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: Critical Mass, World Liberation Day, Tuesday, April 24, 2012. Make this viral. World Liberation Day, May 5, 2012. It is time to take action. It is time to take the destiny of our world in our own hands. Therefore we will meet in groups large and small, as individuals and couples, at the exact time of full moon this May. Millions of us will gather and visualize the liberation of our planet from the tyranny of the central bankers so that for the first time in our history we will have the chance to create our own destiny as free citizens of the earth. There is a plan, conceived by positive people in the military, supported by civil authority, to arrest the members of the banking cabal for their crimes against humanity. Our visualization will support this plan, so that it manifests as soon as possible, as non-violently and smoothly as possible. We will support brave heroes that will carry out this plan. Something like this has never happened on this planet before. This is our chance to be a part of it. Our mass effort on this day will be the trigger that will activate the plan so that it may come to its fruition. Our visualization on that day is our declaration of freedom and independence. Make this viral. Share it worldwide. We will all be doing this visualization at the same time, the moment of full moon, which comes this May 5th/6th. Exact times for different time zones are 8:30 p.m. PDT May 5th, Los Angeles, 9:30 p.m. MDT May 5th, Denver, 10:30 p.m. CDT May 5th, Houston, 11:30 p.m. EDT May 5th, New York, 4:30 a.m. BST May 6th, London, 5:30 a.m. CES May 6th, Paris, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time May 6th, Beijing, 12:30 p.m. JST May 6th, Tokyo, 1:30 p.m. EST May 6th, Sydney. Instructions 1. Relax your mind and body by watching your breath for a few minutes. 2. Visualize civil authority arresting central banking criminals such as Rothschilds and Rockefellers, and other members of this cabal such as Henry Kissinger, etc. Visualize this process taking place worldwide peacefully and smoothly. Visualize the world finally being free from financial slavery, free from all evil dictators and corrupt politicians. 3. Visualize bright new future for humanity, with new and fair financial system put into place, with all debts cancelled, prosperity funds for humanitarian projects released, advanced technologies introduced, ecosystem healed and human beings finally being free from all oppression. Disclaimer: the date of this visualization, May 5th, is most likely not the date when these mass arrests will be taking place. More information about the mass arrests. Updates about the World Liberation Day. Posted by Cobra at 2:54 p.m. 106 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: mass arrests, World Liberation Day, Saint Pandora sequence DN clear. Posted by Cobra at 12:18 p.m. 5 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Sunday, April 22, 2012. Dispelling the fears. Polar shift 2012. This will not happen. It is true that there have been many axis shifts in the Earth's geological past, but there is zero scientific or spiritual evidence for one scheduled for this year. The only thing that is true here is that the magnetic, not physical, axis of the planet is traveling quite rapidly, about 25 miles per year. This only means that the compass needle points to a slightly different position each year. Apocalypse 2012. There will be no drastic cataclysms this year. Ceaseless work of the lightworkers and a lot of divine intervention have ensured this. In fact, apocalypse is a Greek word for revelation, not for cataclysm. Yes, revelation will happen when the veils are lifted and we are reconnected with the source. Alien invasion. This will not happen for a simple reason that it had already happened long time ago and nobody seemed to notice. Members of the Cabal are souls that invaded planet Earth long time ago from other star systems and they kept reincarnating here until now. There are no bad aliens left in the universe, this galaxy or our solar system. They have been cleared by Galactic Confederation from the galaxy and by resistance movement from our solar system years ago. There are also none left in deep underground military bases. They have been cleared years ago also. So if you read any reports about battles between reptilians and benevolent ETs, they are not true. The only thing left are the uppermost parts of some of underground military bases. There are no reptilians or any other negative groups there, The only thing you might find there are computers, equipment and some weaponry, including whatever is remaining of exotic weapons. Some of those bases were also intended as safe haven for members of the Cabal in the case of emergency. Positive military will take care of whatever is remaining of these bases at the time of the event. They will be backed up by the resistance, which will intervene directly in this cleansing of underground bases only if positive military needs some help. Nibiru, there is no such thing as Nibiru. This idea comes from poorly translated Sumerian cuneiform tablets by Zechariah Sitchin. There is no such planet that will crash into Earth or even come close to Earth to disturb its orbit. It is true that there is a planet X that has not been officially discovered yet, and this planet often gets confused with Nibiru. But in reality, planet X has its orbit that never gets closer than Pluto, so it poses absolutely no threat to Earth. There is also no comet or asteroid that will crash on Earth in the near future. Rest assured that Galactic Confederation constantly monitors all objects in the solar system and they will not be allowed to crash on Earth. Negative timelines. Timelines are just possible future outcomes of situation on planet Earth. They are potential futures of a particular event, and most of them collapse as we get closer to the event, and when that particular event happens only one timeline remains. Until November 11, 2011, all negative timelines for planet Earth have already collapsed and positive future of the planet is certain. There will be no alternative Earth. Therefore, bright future for the planet is certain. This is also true for most inhabitants of this planet except for a small group of the Cabal that refuses to cooperate with forces of evolution. Cloning. All cloning laboratories of the Cabal have been shut down by the Resistance years ago. You need to understand that there were two types of clones, robot clones and clones with the soul incarnated. Soul-infused clones were produced in deep underground military bases with bodies grown in laboratories and souls pushed from the etheric plane into that clone body with strong electromagnetic fields. All this is gone now. So there are no clones of Bush or Rockefeller. Nor are there any clones of Fulford, Wilcock or Drake. Those are all real people, involved in the last chapter of the cosmic drama of duality. Chemtrails. Contrails. Most of what passes for chemtrails these days are just contrails. Contrails are water exhaust from planes that gets condensed into a cloud in stratosphere where the plane flies. They don't look nice, but they are not dangerous. Yes, a small percentage of those are chemtrails, which means that chemicals are added to the water exhaust. In vast majority of cases, the pilots that fly those planes have no idea that they are involved in spraying chemtrails. Chemtrails are not as dangerous as you might think. The volume of atmosphere is vast and toxic chemicals get dissolved pretty quickly below the concentration that is still harmful for human beings. Be more concerned about water you drink from your tap and food you eat from the supermarket. Illuminati symbolism. This is in fact symbolism of ancient mystery schools. Symbols are reflections of archetypes of divine truth. They can be interpreted in both positive or negative ways. Illuminati use these symbols because Illuminati groups originated from mystery schools whose teachings got corrupted over the millennia and the original meaning of symbols was lost. So next time you see a symbol of the sun, do not think about it as an Illuminati symbol but as a symbol of eternal life. Next time you see a symbol of Cobra, do not think about it as a symbol for reptilian race but rather as a symbol of Kundalini, the mysterious force of enlightenment. Now that we have dispelled some fears, we can focus on more important things. Details will be posted on this website in a few days. Posted by Cobra at 11:31 a.m. 128 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: alien invasion, apocalypse, chemtrails, cloning, Nibiru, polar shift, timelines. Japan forgives $3.7 billion of Myanmar's debt. Thank you, White Dragons. Japan said Saturday it will forgive about 300 billion yen, $3.7 billion, of Myanmar's debt and resume development aid as a way to support the country's democratic and economic reforms. The government made the announcement after a meeting between Prime Minister Yoshihiko Noda and Myanmar President Thein Sein following a summit with leaders from the 5 nations of the Mekong River region. More here. Posted by Cobra at 6:05 a.m. 1 comment. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: Dead Forgiveness, End of Galactic Wars, Light overcomes darkness, the light will overcome the darkness and banish it. The darkness will be like something that never was, and the source of darkness will be dissolved. Deficiency will be pulled out by its root and cast down into the darkness, and the light will withdraw up to its root. Nag Hammadi Kodai says, on the origin of the world, our planet is the last one that has this evil on it. When the evil here is disposed of, there will be no more anywhere. A quote from Drake, posted by Cobra at 5:06 a.m. 31 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: End of Darkness, Galactic Wars, Friday, April 20, 2012. St. Pandora Sequence L1 per liter 0 clear. Posted by Cobra at 12:20 p.m. 3 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Wednesday, April 18, 2012. A call for information agents. If you have any really meaningful and credible intel about the event or current situation, you can send it to and it may be published in this blog if found valuable. 1. If you wish to make the source of your intel public, please state that source clearly in your email. 2. If you wish to remain anonymous, write anonymous source in the subject line of your email. If it will be published, it will be published as coming from anonymous source. 3. If you do not want your intel to be published or mentioned in this blog, write for Cobra only in the subject line of your email. 4. Do not send channeled material. 5. Do not send questions or comments. You can send those in the comments section after each post in this blog. I may answer some of them if I find time. Thank you for your assistance in the victory of light. Posted by Cobra at 1:49 p.m. 28 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: Information Agents. Tuesday, April 17, 2012. Forces of Light and Forces of Darkness. Positive Groups. Galactic Confederation. Also called Galactic Federation. This is a loose confederate union of positive civilizations within this galaxy, such as Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians. Its leaders are ascended masters, beings that live in an enlightened state of consciousness. Ashtar Command is a section of Galactic Confederation which primary function is to liberate planet Earth from the grip of the dark forces. They have many physical motherships in Earth orbit that are cloaked with tachyonic membrane and are thus non-detectable for all optical radar instruments of the Cabal. They have prevented nuclear war on Earth many times over. Also, they have prevented many earthquakes as they stabilize tectonic plate activity. Their main motivation is to share happiness and love they have achieved themselves as a result of their spiritual growth with not-so-fortunate Earth population. There is a strong disinfo campaign against Galactic Confederation that started in mid-90s as the Cabal realized that Galactic Confederation is a serious threat to their New World Order plans. Many Earth-based contactees for the Confederation were subjected to intense monarch mind programming, and in fact Ashtar Command was made to be a trigger word to activate strong denial altars. This programming also resulted in most channels to lose contact with the Confederation and they began channeling astral shells instead. This served to additionally disprove channeling as a reliable source to get interdimensional information. Today there are very few reliable channels, but that does not change the fact that Galactic Confederation is a very strong and reliable force that will make itself known at the time of first contact. Resistance Movement. This is a group of freedom fighters who live in subterranean dwellings in the upper part of Earth's crust. They have a constant physical contact with underground Pleiadian bases in Himalaya and under Bora Bora Island. Their official public contact is Cobra. With assistance from the Confederation, they have cleared all remaining reptilian forces from the solar system. Shortly after the year 2000 they have also cleared all subterranean reptilian bases in severe battles. Then they shifted their focus towards clearing most black-budget military programs and technologies, which they did successfully. After that, they have placed their agents inside the military and alphabet agencies to help the positive military group with their plan that is coming to fruition now. Main motivation of the resistance movement is to help liberate the planet, so they can stop living in caves and move on to more prospective missions elsewhere in the galaxy. Positive military. This is the most powerful positive group on the surface of the planet. They have developed a plan for planetary liberation with unseen assistance from the resistance movement. Around 3/4 of the military agrees with this plan, and this is sufficient critical mass for this plan to become reality. Drake is their public representative. Most of this group is not aware of the unseen friendly hand of the resistance. Some of those in high positions are well aware of the resistance contact but will not admit it as it is still classified information. This is a loose group without a leader, and their main motivation is to restore sovereignty and freedom to human population, especially in the US. Templars. Also called Faction 2 or sometimes White Hats. This group originates from old European nobility that was almost wiped out by the Rothschilds. They have a strong power base in the US, Navy, UK and continental Europe. Their public contact is Lord Blackheath. Currently they are very much involved in the creation of the new 134 Nations Alliance financial system. They cooperate with the positive military group. Their main purpose is to bring down the Federal Reserve and to destroy the Rothschilds, their old enemy. They are not to be confused with Zionist Templar groups that are part of the Rothschild faction, although there are some Rothschild agents infiltrated inside the positive Templar group. Mixed groups, White Dragon Society. This group represents interests of some old Chinese royal lineages, supported with many martial arts groups around the world. Their contact person is Benjamin Fulford. Their main motivation is to bring down the Cabal, but their motives may not be completely pure, as they see their role in the new society after the event as a little bit too dominant and controlling. They also have a strong financial interest in the funds that will be released after the takedown of the Cabal. Actually, the resistance had some problems with them in February at secret negotiations about the new financial system, and this has resulted in some delays in timeline for the event. Gnostic Illuminati. This group originates from old Russian nobility and was actually part of the Cabal a few generations ago. After the Rothschilds destroyed the Romanov dynasty, this group has broken off the Cabal and decided to fight the Rothschilds, although they still use the same Illuminati symbolism and part of its ideology. Their purpose is to destroy the Rothschilds as revenge for what happened to Romanovs. They have strong contact in Russian and Eastern European criminal underground, and they are also in contact with the Templars. Their spokesperson is Alexander Romanov. They are heavily infiltrated with Rothschild agents, and this group will be drastically restructured and clean after the event. Negative groups, Rothschild faction. They controlled Europe, high finance through the Federal Reserve and most mainstream media. Their leader is Jacob de Rothschild, and with his business connections with Henry Kissinger they influence Rockefeller faction. Through David de Rothschild and his marriage with Olympia Aldobrandini they influence the Jesuit faction. Black nobility of Europe, except Italy, belongs to this faction. They are mostly Regalian Dark Lords in origin, and in Atlantis they were responsible for the deluge. Their main motivation was to rule the world, but now their motivation is to keep at least some money, try to keep control over the media for as long as possible, and not get arrested. Rockefeller faction. They controlled the US, oil trade, pharmaceuticals, food production and part of the military. They smuggled Nazis into the US, and thus they are also called Illuminati. Their true leader is David Rockefeller, living in his little East 65th St. NY apartment, almost 100 years old. With Volksführer George Bush Sr. and strategic advisor Heinz Kissinger at his side. They are mostly draconian lords that used to have many reptilian slaves in their galactic empire, and they wanted to repeat the same on Earth. So their main motivation here was to create a world dictatorship slave society. Now their main motivation is to escape to their little Bahamian island with at least a backpack and not get arrested. Jesuit faction. This faction was very powerful until early 1800s when the Rothschild faction took over. About 10% of Jesuits belong to this faction, among with some cardinals, Black Pope, Adolfo Nicholas, White Pope, Joseph Ratzinger, and black nobility families of Italy. This group was created in the year 325 at the Council of Nicaea, where Constantine created Christian cult in order to destroy Gnostic mysteries, Gnostic Christianity included. It continued to thrive as Holy Inquisition and still heavily infiltrates many Catholic organizations. Its main sphere of influence is South America and Africa. Their main motivation was spiritual control and oppression of humanity. Now their main motive is simply to stay alive. After the event, there will be a great purification of all mainstream religions as they will be aligned with the truth. Posted by Cobra at 2:29 p.m. 67 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: Galactic Confederation, Gnostic Illuminati, Jesuit, Positive Military, Resistance Movement, Rockefeller, Rothschild, White Dragon Society. Sunday, April 15, 2012. Victory of the Light. Victory of the Light will happen with mathematical certainty. There is a law in hyperdimensional physics that is called Syntropicon equation. It states that total entropy of the universe decreases with time because the universe is not a closed system. Actually, decrease of entropy defines the time vector as always pointing from past into future. All this means that at a certain point in time, total entropy of the universe decreases to a point which ensures absolute victory of the light over all darkness. This goes well beyond dualistic view of the universe we are so accustomed to here on Earth. It means that darkness is not needed to define light, and consciousness does not evolve by interactions with darkness but rather from pure joy of being. It means absolute light without shadow and happiness without suffering. This is the future for all of us. What we are witnessing now is a certain process called phase transition. Phase transition means that matter transforms from one aggregate state into another. A good example of phase transition is ice, which turns into liquid water as we heat it. What is happening now on this planet in 2012 is a phase transition on subquantum level. It means that quantum signature, quantum fluctuation, of all matter on this planet is in a process of dramatic shift during this year. This transition happens as a direct divine intervention from the source through all dimensions of 11-dimensional stargates of Calabio manifolds. This has drastic implications on consciousness of all living beings on this planet. It means complete societal change from duality, light-darkness, based society into oneness, absolute light-based society. The key point of the transition from duality into oneness is dissolution of the dark reality, and this will happen at the event. To reach the critical mass of kinetic energy required for the event, phase transition, we are adopting a certain strategy. The strategy for overthrowing the dark cabal is constant non-violent critical mass resonance of truth, revealed in the face of opposition. If you are constantly and coherently revealing the truth in the face of mind matrix created via mass media, this will dissolve the last power base of the cabal, the programmed group mind of humanity. If the truth is exposed, all lies are dissolved. Truth creates a web of light on the mental plane for divine intervention, which then manifests on the physical. Cabal is well aware of this and is fighting its last war, the infower. Disinfo agents are putting nonsense on internet such as cloning of Fulford. This disperses your focus and weakens your mind coherence. To increase coherence, you need to listen to your inner guidance, intuition and rational mind combined, about veracity of all information you find on the net. When enough people do this, a critical mass is achieved and coherent resonance is created. We are actually very close to this right now, and this will soon result in leaks of truth into mass media and then also in final dissolution of mind programming matrix. During 2012 we are traveling through a multidimensional portal. This means that we live in two coexisting reality systems. The first one is a high vibrational reality supported by truth-oriented information from some alternative media. The second one is a low vibrational reality, supported by lies and propaganda mainly from mainstream media and also fear-based alternative media. It is your decision where you will have your focus, as your focus co-creates your experience of reality. Nevertheless, low vibrational reality will rapidly lose its power as we move through 2012. The good news is that divine intervention is already happening. Last week alone, the following happened as a direct result of intervention from positive Earth-based and also positive extraterrestrial forces. Sumatra earthquake with tsunami warning cancelled and almost no damage reported, North Korean missile rocket failure, ceasefire in Syria and IMF calling for mortgage debt relief. You can assist this divine intervention. If you feel desperate or impatient, if you feel nothing ever changes, what can you do? You can share credible information from COBRA's blog or other sources in your blog, website or via Facebook or YouTube. You can share this from heart to heart with people that are open to it, but do not try to force it upon those who are not ready. If you are a journalist or a good friend of yours you can perhaps channel some of this info through a media outlet. Rest assured that if you dedicate yourself to this, many amazing synchronicities will happen and many doors will open to you. Victory of the light is near, we will all win together. Posted by Cobra at 2:43 p.m. 19 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels, Calabio, Victory of Light. Saturday, April 14, 2012. Stardust Clear, Saint Pandora Operational. Posted by Cobra at 3:07 p.m. 5 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Divine Intervention Flash April 13th. A new flash of energy has been sent directly from the source towards the surface of planet Earth on Friday, April 13th. The purpose of this energy beam was to unstuck old energy and to ensure forward motion towards the completion of planetary liberation process. Quantum foam signature of the gluon particle wave became more harmonious. But it's simple, there will be more light streaming towards planet Earth. It may be significant that planet Mars went direct on Friday. Mars was retrograde since January 23, which resulted in many delays, impatience and apparent lack of action. Well, you will see a lot of action soon. Also, planet Mercury enters Aries on April 16. This also implies more action, more good news. Sheliac time wave, which is the most accurate of all time with zero novelty functions, has its peak on April 17 and after that it decreases steadily until December 21. We can expect more and more release language until the planetary liberation is complete. Posted by Cobra at 5:40 a.m. for comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels, Divine Intervention, Sheliac time wave, acceleration of events. Friday, April 13 was a day full of action. Resistance movement has finally removed the main obstacle, from their perspective, that blocked the triggering of the event. Certain key resistance agents were placed into position. There are some minor preparations still to be made, but then everything is ready, as far as resistance is concerned. These major developments on Friday have also initiated a process of lifting the quarantine of planet Earth and started preparations for the first contact. There are also some developments on the surface of the planet which must be completed before the event can take place. First, there is a lot of pressure on banking sector of the Cabal and they are basically being cornered. Second, a legal process is put into place that will ensure a formation of a new civil authority that will finally authorize the military to back up the event. Much is happening but mass media do not report it. The pressure upon mass media is mounting and you can expect some leaks into MSM soon. In the next few weeks, events will accelerate. Posted by Cobra at 5:13 a.m. for comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels, Event, Resistance Movement. Friday, April 13, 2012. Message to the general public. The event has not started yet. Remain calm, but vigilant. Posted by Cobra at 2:40 p.m. 17 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels, Event, Master and sections clear. Operation Phoenix Delta LOC secure. Posted by Cobra at 2:23 p.m. 2 comments. Email this, blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. APR idle, Stardust activated. Posted by Cobra at 12:21 p.m. 1 comment. Email this, blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Nuclear entropy vector 0.00. Posted by Cobra at 12:13 p.m. 6 comments. Email this, blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Disclosure starting in mainstream media. Viking robots found life on Mars, scientists say. Viking robots found life on Mars in 1976, scientists say. Researchers put data into sets of numbers, then analyzed the results for complexity. New analysis of 36-year-old data, resuscitated from printouts, shows that NASA found life on Mars. An international team of mathematicians and scientists conclude in a paper published this week. Further, NASA doesn't need a human expedition to Mars to nail down the claim, neuropharmacologist and biologist Joseph Miller, with the University of Southern California's Keck School of Medicine, told Discovery News. The ultimate proof is to take a video of a Martian bacteria. They should send a microscope, watch the bacteria move, Miller said. On the basis of what we've done so far, I'd say I'm 99% sure there's life there, he added. Miller's confidence stems in part from a new study that reanalyzed results from a life detection experiment conducted by NASA's Viking Mars robots in 1976. Researchers crunched raw data collected during runs of the labeled release experiment, which looked for signs of microbial metabolism in soil samples scooped up and processed by the two Viking landers. General consensus of scientists has been that the experiment found geological, not biological, activity. The new study took a different approach. Researchers distilled the Viking-labeled release data, provided as hard copies by the original researchers, into sets of numbers and analyzed the results for complexity. Since living systems are more complicated than non-biological processes, the idea was to look at the experiment results from a purely numerical perspective. News: Viking found organics on Mars. Experiment confirms. They found close correlations between the Viking experiment results' complexity and those of terrestrial biological data sets. They say the high degree of order is more characteristic of biological, rather than purely physical, processes. Critics counter that the method has not yet been proven effective for differentiating between biological and non-biological processes on Earth, so it's premature to draw any conclusions. Ideally, to use a technique on data from Mars, one would want to show that the technique has been well calibrated and well established on Earth. The need to do so is clear. On Mars we have no way to test the method, while on Earth we can, planetary scientist and astrobiologist Christopher McKay, with NASA's Ames Research Center in Moffett Field, Calif., told Discovery News. News: Life possible on large regions of Mars, while not ironclad. The findings are an additional plank of evidence challenging the popular contention that Viking did not find life, Miller said. Miller also was reanalyzing the data to see if there are variations when sunlight was blocked by a weeks-long dust storm on Mars, with the idea being that biological systems would have acted differently to the environmental change than geologic ones. Results of the research are expected to be presented in August. The research is published online in the International Journal of Aeronautical and Space Sciences. Posted by Cobra at 3:17 a.m. No comments. Email this, blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: Disclosure: Life on Mars, Viking. Thursday, April 12, 2012. Benjamin Fulford's explanation about March 31st deadline. RE. Cutoff dates. Hi Ben. Wasn't there a cutoff date of last month for action to take place? Kind regards, C. The cutoff date was put out by the Gnostic Illuminati faction allied with the White Dragon Society. Shortly before the cutoff, the Fed sent somebody to Japan with an offer of $10 trillion. However, it turns out the offer was $590 trillion for us and $10 trillion for the rest of the world, with them still in charge. There are still two factions battling it out, and it is looking increasingly likely things will start getting physical soon. We are all running out of patience. The Asian groups know that time is on their side and they just have to wait for things to implode in the West. People in the West need to remove the criminal cabal on their own or else face increasing disorder and chaos. P.S. By COBRA, the plan has no room for any kind of negotiations with the cabal. They have to be removed from society, as peacefully and non-violently as possible, and as soon as possible. Posted by COBRA at 3:23 a.m. 18 comments. Email this, blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels: Benjamin Fulford. Nuclear entropy vector, -1.15. Posted by COBRA at 3:18 a.m. 1 comment. Email this, blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Wednesday, April 11, 2012. India to announce UFO disclosure soon. Rainesh, Ashtar Command Crew, April 2, 2012. India is in the center of a big secret inside debate. On one side, the largest democracy of the world is enthusiastic to make clear to its people and to the world concerning the current contacts with the UFOs and extraterrestrials. On the other hand, there are invisible, innumerable international protocols that forbid doing anything that may cause worldwide fear and panic. It is well received between the UFO and extraterrestrial experts that all the 5 nuclear powers are in touch with the beings from other stars for pretty long time. Freshly, India had seen huge news on UFO links and secret UFO bases in Himalayas near the Chinese bases. In Ladakh, for instance, the locals undoubtedly point out the day-by-day occurrence of large triangular spacecrafts coming out below the ground and Indian security forces defending them. Military officials and politicians have confessed the fact that India has been contacted. India has been told the rules of the universe. The present debate is on whether to keep it secret like other countries are doing or in custom of a total see-through society come out and tell the truth. India is so loose and democratic. It is very hard to keep a secret for long. The major anxiety of the government today is that unlike other countries, it will be very difficult to keep it secret much longer. If the information comes out through unauthorized channels first and then the authorities are pressed against the wall to confess, 2 bad things can happen. First, it can actually cause a panic in the country as well as the world. Second, the way the Indian politics is run, the ruling party will be thrown out of power in no time. The current hurry of world leaders to India is extraordinary. Starting from Russian President Putin to major senators from America have visited or are preparing to visit India. European Union is in deep conversation with India on cooperation. All sanctions against India's nuclear programs and Indian Space Research Organization are in the process of being lifted. India is cooperating with Europeans and the Americans in space explorations and technology research program. India is also part of World Trade Organization. India is getting major outsourcing contracts in IT and call center service work from America and Europe. India's forex reserves are at a level never predictable before because of international direct investments from Western nations, Japan, Korea and others. Fascinatingly, China, the curved competitor of India, distorted its posture in the last few years to make India's friendship and trade a precedence. India is slowly getting to the point when it is established as a permanent member of the Security Council. All the 5 Security Council members, China, America, Russia, France and UK, support India's addition. According to sources close up to the government, the UFO contacts are known by quite a few politicians in the opposition and of course by those who are in power. The military has justifiable concern of not letting the secret out either. Lately, India's Foreign Affairs Minister Mr. Netwar Singh came out and whispered that for India it was not essential to become a nuclear power. He is a strong follower of Ms. Indira Gandhi, India's former Prime Minister who initiated the nuclear program in the mid-60s. India first exploded a nuclear device in Pokhran in the early 70s. The whole country, including people from his own party, questioned Mr. Singh for such an irresponsible statement. But on analyzing his statements, it is evident that based on what he knows now, being a nuclear power really does not matter much because the technologies controlled by the extraterrestrials are so advanced that all our technologies mean really nothing. But importantly, he may be irritated with this controversial ongoing secret debate, and what he really meant was that if India was not a nuclear power, the debate on UFO and extraterrestrials will never be there in India. P.S. By Cobra. In 2002, the Pleiadians told me that they built an underground UFO base in the Himalayas near India-China border. This base is situated near Konkala in eastern Ladakh. More about it here. Posted by Cobra at 10:18 a.m. 8 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels. Disclosure. India. Pleiadians. Tuesday, April 10, 2012. Nuclear entropy vector, -2.48. Posted by Cobra at 6:19 a.m. 8 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Monday, April 9, 2012. Timing of the event, Drake's opinion, in the next 30 to 45 days. And it cannot be stopped. Listen to the interview from around 99 to 102 minute mark. Posted by Cobra at 3:09 a.m. 12 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels, Drake, event. Sunday, April 8, 2012. Compression breakthrough. What is COBRA? COBRA is a code name for compression breakthrough. The surface of planet Earth is compressed in a sandwich. Light forces of the Galactic Confederation are advancing from the sky downwards toward the surface of the planet. Light forces of the resistance movement are advancing from the underground up towards the surface of the planet. The surface is thus subjected to the pressure of light, and dark forces of the Cabal have nowhere to hide. They cannot escape via wormholes, stargates or teleportation chambers into space. They cannot use space vehicles of any official or secret space program. They cannot dig holes and bunkers deep underground and hide there. They cannot even hide on lower astral plane anymore. The ongoing process of compression means that light will expose everything that is hidden, collectively and individually. When light from above and light from below meet right on the surface of the planet, this is the moment of compression breakthrough. That occurrence is called the event. The event includes, but is not limited to, mass arrests of the Cabal. Rather, it is a multidimensional trigger event that starts the process of entering into the long-awaited golden age. With darkness removed, humanity will be able to co-create its own future. Who is Cobra? Cobra is a code name for the writer of this blog. Cobra's identity must remain veiled for now for various reasons. Cobra is not associated with military or Drake, although he/she perceives Drake as the most reliable messenger for the plan. Cobra may or may not be part of the resistance movement. What is important is the message and not the messenger. Human mind usually associates given message with perceived characteristics of the messenger, and this tends to cloud its objectivity. Along with posts from the resistance movement and some other advanced sources, Cobra may occasionally post in this blog certain pieces from Benjamin, David, Drake or any other credible messengers. We are all in this fight for victory of the light together. Posted by Cobra at 1:06 p.m. 17 comments. Email this blog this. Share to Twitter, share to Facebook, share to Pinterest. Labels, Cobra, compression breakthrough, resistance movement.